Publishing standpoint, what's going to make you dangerous around the water cooler? I think kind of the 6 key takeaways that you should know about programmatic is that programmatic, from a publishing standpoint, programmatic media can help you segment your target audiences more effectively to deliver higher ROI, and that ultimately will help advertisers justify increased spend. Remember, at the beginning of the presentation, we talked about this is a $36 billion market. Could it be bigger? And programmatic has the potential to help it do that in a very effective and efficient way. It allows you to demand maximum CPM rates through auction-based pricing and advertiser demand. If you have multiple advertisers that have demand for, regardless if it's premium or remnant, if they demand a key target audience and that inventory is of high demand, it should drive the highest CPM in a truly transparent environment. It allows you to control premium and remnant inventory more efficiently than the manual processes that are going on today. You can minimize that unsold inventory. There's no reason, even if, let's just say it's 25%, that's still a lot of money that's being left on the table. And in most cases, I suspect it's much higher than that. It's just really hard to quantify that from a research standpoint. Understand subscriptions and optimize content to grow your high-value audiences so you can really understand your subscribers. And figure out what content do I need to write or develop to get more of those types of subscribers or to engage those existing subscribers and keep them. And it allows you to target new subscribers and boost premium exposure through things like subscription development and audience extension. So anything you want to layer on this, Bill, before I move on?
Nope, I think this does a great job.
Cool. All right. So here's kind of 6 things that we need to do, and these are recommendations that publishers should do to embrace programmatic. And number 1 is just to kind of continue to be open to the shift from the direct model to programmatic. And, I think a very strong argument could be made that demand from advertisers, demand from the market will dictate that measurement and transparency are a part of inventory spend in the future, that they can see what's going on and they can optimize things and they have transparency. And so unfortunately, if the direct model doesn't have that, and some publishers are doing quite a bit to extend the visibility and to extend the understanding of target audiences in premium, but it really is a shift from what we were doing 5-10 years ago, and sometimes we're slow to adopt. Be open to information transparency with the goal of driving efficiency and ECPM. Because I think the question you need to ask is, how do you know that your premium direct right now couldn't be driving double the ECPM in an efficient market? If you truly were allowing demand to dictate the price, how do you know that you couldn't get triple or double and it could go the opposite way, right? We have to consider both sides here, but it's unlikely because you have finite inventory that's in high demand. So we're likely to see some very interesting things happen as we start to open this up from a programmatic standpoint. Be open to sharing data on performance and audience targets with partners like independent media traders because it allows them to more effectively match the advertiser with the right inventory. So I think, in some cases, we're reluctant to open up and share the audience information, but it really benefits all players the more we do that and the more we're open to that. Look for opportunities to elevate remnant target segments. Remember, we went to the mountain and we had those veins of gold. Whether or not you do some of the things that we talked about today, you really need to start thinking about who are those target audiences, and do we have really good, solid opportunities to increase our ECPM within our remnant inventory, within our unsold inventory. So start to understand them more effectively. Try audience subscription. That's a really cool feature specifically for publishers where you can boost subscribers, either paid or just registrations through programmatic media. Very cool stuff. And then this is a recommendation that I want to allow Bill to elaborate on, but staff appropriately. And this came to from Bill's experience working with publishers. And Bill, I'm just going to hand it over to you to talk about how do you position a company for success in programmatic.
Sure. I think the first thing is that you cannot expect that technology in and of itself or vendors are going to do this for you easily and with a quick ROI. You need to be able to staff appropriately, and that means that in some cases you'll have someone who is a designated full-time person who is leading programmatic. It could be that you may have specific responsibilities within people that are carrying titles like yield management, ad operations, revenue, marketing. Rarely do we see large numbers of people doing programmatic full-time, but this is becoming a discipline, and it will be a profession. There are people already who are carrying this title. We've seen the positive things that can come of this, and I would encourage publishers to recognize that there needs to be someone who is given the responsibility and authority to be able to advance the programmatic initiatives. It is a discipline.
Yep. All right, very good. Well, we've got 3 minutes left. One thing that everyone who's attended this will get the complimentary deep dive. There's a research asset that supports the conversation we had today, and it's got some great definitions in there. It's something that you could pass to a colleague and help get them up to speed on the webinar or just the topic in general. So that will come from MediaCrossing after the presentation, and I think we should